Welcome to So Much Crime, So Little Time, Summer Shorts. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Dee, and in this episode, we'll introduce you to The Dating Detectives by Dear Media.
We haven't listened to this yet, so there are no spoilers in this episode.
Here, we're going to introduce you to the story, and we're going to take a little trip in the time machine.
And we'll also have a link to The Dating Detectives in our show notes.
In our next episode, we'll discuss the podcast, but right now, let's put on the sun cream, grab a cold drink, and preview the crime. All right, Jeff. This show, The Dating Detectives, is brought to you by Dear Media, as I mentioned. Okay, we've got a professional PI who's the host of the show, whose name is Mackenzie Fultz, and a comedian, Hannah Anderson. And each week they delve into a story of liars, cheaters, and con men who've left a trail of broken hearts and shattered trust in the dating world. They're going to uncover lots of scams, lots of red flags.
Yeah.
Did you want to speak? Is that how this works? I don't have to speak the whole time.
Dee, why did you pick The Dating Detectives for us to listen to?
Okay, so this show feels like it's marrying kind of two loves of mine. One of my loves is true crime. We've discussed this time and time again. My other love is low stakes gossip. So the type of gossip that impacts nobody around me, but that's really good and solid. And because there's a PI involved, so it's a little bit like Veronica Mars vibes, but also normal gossip. Did I ever make you listen to normal gossip? No. A mutual friend of ours, Ollie, introduced me to normal gossip, and I was an addict. I loved it for so long. Every time an episode came out, I was jumping on it. To me, this podcast is kind of bringing the two things together.
Okay.
This episode is about, it was released in November 18th, 2024. It's called The DIY PI. So I was like scoping through their most recent episodes, and I was wondering which one we might enjoy. Now, this one is slightly on the longer side. It's just under an hour and 50 minutes, but I reckon there's a lot of ads. I listened to the first 5 or 10 minutes to try and get an eye for the date that we were going with, but and seems like fair amount of ads, so hopefully it'll get down to closer to an hour and a half. But basically, this woman who is a guest on the show, Alexis, suspected her husband was cheating on her, but she needed some, proof before she was willing to upend her and her children's lives. So she called a PI, and then she became the PI, which is interesting. So I'm really excited. I looked into some reviews, and people say that this is maybe the best episode of the show so far. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
And it's real light. I don't think anyone gets murdered, Jeff.
Okay. It looks like this, they've done over 100 episodes of this.
I know.
Okay. So it's been around for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Looks
so
like
it should be
about
good.
2 years, over 2 years. Okay. Great. All right. This sounds different than anything we've done before.
I know. I thought that. And I thought it was nice to mix in some light in amongst everything.
Well,
and also we cannot get rid of the fact that it is a real crime to be catfishing or dog fishing people,
Yeah. All right.
Not okay.
Well, should we hop in the time machine?
I think we should get into the vibe of this story. I need to put a disclaimer out there. Disclaimer. Me. I didn't know when. I couldn't figure out from the first 10 minutes and from my Google sleuthing when this crime actually occurred. What I do know is this episode came out November 18th, 2024. Alexis, from what I could see, had a 4-year-old daughter, and I added 2 years for luck onto their relationship and decided they met around 6 years before that. And so I jumped back to 2018 and we went with November. So disclaimer, this isn't guaranteed as the time, but it feels appropriate.
Can I just say, sometimes you go in the time machine and you set a date and you set a place, and then the controls are a little fiddly, and the machine just kind of goes where it goes. And so we're going to November 18th of 2018. Not sure, but we've had that problem before. It comes up
Yeah,
sometimes.
well, just
It's not a perfect
sometimes
machine.
we like say the wrong date. It's like it's fine. It's
When
all
you get hit by
vibes. Let's go with
lightning,
the vibes.
you end up back in 1885. It can
That's what
happen.
they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I go first?
Sure. I've been doing a lot of talking.
So I have some trivia for you from November of 2018.
Okay. Where were you? Were you in California by then? You were, yeah.
2018, yes, I was in California. But I'm going to start with some trivia from Ireland for you about a place we've talked about before. There was an event that happened on November 17th, the day before the date you picked, at Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Ireland, the rugby team, beat a certain team.
All Blacks.
Yes.
New Zealand All Blacks, yeah.
Yes. How familiar are you with All Blacks and their name and why that's their name?
God, I have no idea.
Because to an outsider who just reads that,
That's fair. I just never really considered it because they're always been the New Zealand All Blacks. And are there women's team called the All Whites?
I don't know, but I'm just saying in this country,
I
in
think-
America, where we've had a history of pretty racist sports teams' names, this one sounded really problematic. But when I looked it up, it actually wasn't problematic at all, at least from what I could see on the Wikipedia page for this team. I believe it was originally, there's a joke. I think there's a little unknown why they're called this. They've been called this for a long time. One story is that it's because that's their uniform. Like they wear all black uniforms. There's another version where their team is made up of all backs, and there was like a misprint somewhere that became All Blacks. Anyway, it seemed problematic, but I don't think it really is.
Their national like soccer team is called the All Whites, apparently.
Doesn't sound better, to be honest with you. Okay, that was my first trivia question. Let's move on. November 5th, 2018.
It's funny how not funny, haha, but it is interesting how the context makes so much difference. Like coming from an American perspective.
All right, so there are two major events that happened on November 5th of 2018. The first one is the Spice Girls announced a new tour.
Yeah, they did, and I went there.
Okay. Then you're going to know the answer to this then. Who was missing from the Spice Girls?
Victoria.
Yeah. I didn't think this was a hard question. It was a trivia question. All right. The other major event that happened on November 5th, 2018 was NASA's Voyager 2 probe left the solar system, becoming the second human-made object to reach interstellar space. What was the first human-made object to reach interstellar space?
Fuck if I know.
Let me give you a clue. The second human-made object to reach interstellar space was called Voyager 2.
Voyager 1.
It was Voyager 1, yeah.
I didn't obviously pick up on that. I was in my head singing some Spice Girls songs.
All right, well, let's come back. I got one more trivia question for you. Okay, November of 2018 was an election month in the U.S., and these were the midterm elections during the first Trump administration, when normally in the midterm elections, the party that won the presidency in the election before gets just sort of creamed in the election and kind of swings the other way. The pendulum just swings back. And that happened this time in 2018. And for people who are watching in America now, there may be people looking forward to 2026 and hoping that that happens again. I'm going to give you three options of things that happened in the 2018 midterm elections and ask you which one is the right one. Was the first openly gay governor elected to a state in the U.S.? Was the first female Muslim person elected to Congress? Or was the last state to never have had a female governor elect one in November of 2018? Which of those happened?
The first one.
The openly gay governor, first openly gay governor.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
So that is true, but actually two of these were true. So it's a trick question.
You didn't trick politics questions with me.
Yeah.
That
American
seems like-
politics questions.
That's kind of like when you're trying to teach a toddler something, but you decide to make it doubly hard for them.
I have a
Why am
follow-up.
I going to know about that?
I have a follow-up trivia question. So the first
I
openly
feel like you're not allowing me to vent over the fact that it was mean that you like. Why didn't you tell me that two were true? I could have
gave you-
guessed two.
I gave you a chance to get two right. I have a follow-up trivia question. Hang on.
You didn't give me a chance. You just said which one was right.
I have another question for you related to this. So the first openly gay governor was Jared Polis of Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
The first female Muslim elected to Congress. There actually were two in that same election. It was Ilhan Omar from Minnesota and Rashida Tlaib of Michigan. And there are actually 17 states that have never had a woman as their governor,
God.
including the state we live in, California, and a bunch of others. Which state has had the most female governors? And I'm going to give you some clues. First of all, the state has had 5 female governors. It is not a state you would expect.
Will it be a state I know or have heard of?
Yes. I don't know if you've been to this state, but it's a state you've definitely heard of. I can give you more clues if you want.
I just struggle with states. There's just so freaking many of them. Is it Massachusetts?
Massachusetts has had 2 female governors,
Okay.
including the current one, I believe.
How close am I geographically?
Really far.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Although the state with the second most female governors is New Hampshire with 4, which is right next to Massachusetts. Hawaii has had 1 female governor.
Alaska.
Alaska has also had 1 female governor. Do you know who that was? She ran for vice
Texas.
president, Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
Yeah. She came up recently. She's actually come up a few times.
Texas has had 2.
Jesus. Seattle.
That is a city, not a state.
Oh. Oregon.
Oregon has had 3.
Washington. You tell me to go far away. I went really far.
All right. The westish coast is the right place to be, but Washington, Oregon, and California are all incorrect. So it's another state that's in the west.
There's nothing else on the coast.
Not on the coast. It's not a coastal state. It's a landlocked state.
Oh, God. Nevada.
Close, but not right.
Idaho.
Should I just give it to you?
I don't know states. This is a wild question to give me.
I don't know. I thought it would be funny. Arizona. The answer is Arizona has had 5.
Oh, I've been
female
there.
governors. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
It's real pretty.
Really pretty.
I can't believe you brought states to me. What were you thinking? Okay. I have one movie.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a couple of people who were in the movie and see if you can get it. Yeah, we'll see how we go from there.
Okay.
Angela Lansbury was in it. Benedict Cumberbatch. Pharrell Williams. And Max the dog.
Angela Lansbury, Pharrell Williams.
Benedict Cumberbatch. And Max the dog.
Is this an animated movie?
It is.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
November 2018. It was supposed to come out in November 2017. They missed the cutoff, so they couldn't release it until the following November.
Is it a Thanksgiving related movie?
No.
Cut off for what?
Is that a thing? Christmas.
No, not really. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, like a Thanksgiving movie. It's such a random. Are there Thanksgiving movies that aren't Christmas movies?
There's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It's kind of Christmassy. It's like holiday themed.
That's a Thanksgiving movie. Okay. Anyway, Benedict Cumberbatch was in an animated movie with Angela Lansbury, Pharrell Williams,
And Max the dog.
Max the dog.
Mm-hmm. Pharrell Williams was the narrator. And Benedict Cumberbatch was supposed to use his normal British accent, but because everyone else was American, he thought that his character should also have an American accent. And so that is what happened.
I don't know what this is. Is there another clue? It's a Christmas movie. It's an animated movie.
The main person in this at one point plays a song on his pipe organ.
Is it? Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking though. Is it the
And the
Grinch?
name of the song, yes, it is the Grinch. The name of the song is All By Myself, which I was going to read you the lyrics of because I thought you could guess it, but it seemed really easy. So I decided not to.
Did you see this movie?
Like, only maybe 40 times.
I've never seen this one.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I mean, I've seen like the old, like, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch version, the TV one. I've never seen the
This is
live action
great.
one, the Jim Carrey one.
I've never seen that one. This one is really good.
I've read the book
Oh no,
1,000
I
times.
lie. When we got we were jet lagged going to Ireland last year. Me and my son got up in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m. because he was awake, and we just went downstairs and we ended up watching the live action The Grinch and then went back to bed. If, like me, you're trying to tee up your friend to answer a quiz question and they're looking dumbfounded at you, and you need to give them some time to absorb the information and, try to give you a good answer back. While you're waiting, don't just wait. My mum always says, a watched pot never boils. Go on to patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time, where you will get longer Time Machines, early release episode, bonus content, outtakes, and you'll get to support our show. And then by the time you're finished doing all that, your mate either will have the answer or has moved on to the next one. That's patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time. Thanks.
And before we go, just a quick reminder to leave us a comment on this episode. Let us know what you think. Give us a rating, tell a friend, and then come on back for our recap.
Okay, so reminder, link is in our show notes to the DIY PI from the Dating Detectives at Dear Media. That episode came out in November 18th, 2024. We look forward to deep diving into some scandalous lies and a cheating little rascal. That's on the next So Much Crime.
So little time.
So Much Crime, So Little Time is a production of MimeGov Media. The executive producer is Paxton Calariso. Our associate producer is Blythe Ty. Theme music was composed by Vyacheslav Starostin. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to this show in your podcast app. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and a review. Even better, tell your friends. To join the discussion, look for us on social media. Check out the show notes for all the links. Thanks for listening.